You always try the newest diet or calorie counting app but never lose any weight. Or maybe you do, but then after a while you just gain it back. This isn't because you aren't putting the work in, this is because you're doing something proven to fail. The truth about losing weight isn't about counting every last calorie, and science actually proves it, because losing weight is actually a lot more simple than everyone wants to make it seem, and calories have very little to do with it. The reason for this is that the human body is not a calculator. There's not a calorie equation that can make you magically lose weight. Science says that the human body is an adaptive system designed to survive, which is exactly why counting calories starts to become a problem very quickly. The calorie deficit model assumes that your metabolism is a fixed system, which it isn't. You see, when calories start to drop, your body actually starts working against you in a defensive manner. It sees the lack of food and nutrients as a threat and will respond accordingly. This system is called adaptive thermogenesis in science talk, but since we speak English on this channel, I'm gonna break that down for you. Basically, what this does is that when the body detects less calories, it responds with a slower metabolism, body temperature decreases, movement decreases, and worst of all, fat loss resistance spikes way up, which is a major issue. Because of this insane system, two people could eat the same exact thing in a day and see entirely different results, proving that trying to simply cut calories doesn't actually make you lose weight. The reason for this can also be attributed to a very interesting scientific definition, which is hormonal signaling. The hormones in your body like leptin, ghrelin, insulin, and thyroid hormones determine whether your body feels safe enough to burn fat or feels forced to conserve it so nothing bad happens to you. Your body and hormones need the nutrients from food to not only stay safe, but continue operating at peak efficiency. And at the end of the day, food is energy, and counting out your energy will never be a good idea. This is why you'll notice that when you don't eat enough, that bench feels a lot heavier, running feels slower, and overall you just don't feel good. All the physical costs don't even come close to the psychological ones. When you track calories, it forces you to override thoughts and feelings of hunger instead of regulating it. And science says that the result of this is intense feelings of hunger, and weight gain is a much faster form. Another problem that science has told us about calorie counting is that not all calories are processed the same. Protein, fat, sugars, and carbs all have different reactions from your metabolism and hormones. Fat, one of the scariest words in the English language, is actually something that your brain can't function without. So obviously don't go crazy on it, but neglecting it can lead to major issues in your body and brain later down the line. You see, fat and weight loss isn't about how many calories you can cut out. It's about how you can train your body to feel safe. When all of your internals feel safe and healthy, fat loss will happen naturally. Without that, no amount of math will be able to give you what you want. Fat loss is something that is regulated, never calculated. So stick to what biology says and don't listen to these people trying to tell you less calories will solve the problem. But before you can fully understand how to lose fat, you need to understand what science says about insulin, blood sugar, and fat storage, because those are the biggest difference makers when it comes to shredding fat off of your body. You see, insulin is one of the most misunderstood hormones when it comes to losing fat. Everyone always tries to oversimplify it as the fat storage hormone, but that's just wrong, because the real problem isn't with insulin. It's the patterns of when it spikes that hurts you. The main job of insulin is actually to move nutrients out of the body and into your cells, which is vital for proper body function and survival. The cells it distributes nutrients to are in your muscle, liver, and yes, fat tissue. But what nobody understands is that when insulin rises normally and expectedly, the system works perfectly fine. But when insulin is too high for too long, your body loses all metabolic flexibility, causing you to not burn fat, increase in hunger, and energy to crash while your fat storage becomes the default state. This is the exact reason why calorie counting doesn't matter. and the quality of the food you're eating does. Ultra-processed food digests really quickly when spiking blood sugar and forcing major insulin responses. Those sugary drinks, refined carbs, and snack foods make your glucose swing in really unhealthy ways. This tells your body to use fat storage now and burn it later. The major issue is that the later is when your insulin levels are already too high. But carbs aren't the only thing killing your body, it's actually the way you're eating them. You see, when you consume carbohydrates without the addition of other vital nutrients like protein and fiber, your body spikes in insulin and stays that way for much longer. But when this changes, and carbs are paired with protein, fiber, and other items on your plate, everything works differently. Your cells will absorb glucose at a better efficiency, your body stores less fat, which can lead to optimized fat loss, which is what we want. But to truly open the window for fat loss, you need to stabilize blood sugar. When this happens, your hunger signals will quiet down and your energy becomes consistent. This is physiology at work, but almost nobody understands it. Overeating is one of the worst things happening in our society today, and the worst part is, it's a silent killer. A blood sugar roller coaster is precisely what leads to major problems. Less weight gains in the gym, less energy at school or work, and an overall body dysfunction that can harm you in more ways than I could ever explain in a single video. One of the worst ways people break down their body system is by consuming liquid calories. Smoothies, juices, coffee drinks, foods that bypass chewing, digestion, and body signals that are really bad. So bad that they're spiking your insulin and blood sugar while not even leaving you full. The energy gets stored but asks for more shortly after. This can lead to overeating and a major issue with your blood sugar and insulin levels, ultimately leading to zero fat loss. This is why fat loss happens when people stop obsessing over numbers and start controlling their patterns. Protein first thing in the morning, along with fiber and carbs earned through training and movement. Fewer liquid calories, fewer insulin spikes, more metabolic freedom. This isn't coming from me, this is coming from what science has proven. You see, insulin doesn't make you fat. Insane insulin rise does. And once you understand that, fat loss stops being a battle and starts becoming a side effect of eating in a way your body actually understands. But to be able to actually optimize fat loss, you need to learn what it takes to keep it off when resting. How to lose fat when resting. Because everyone's goal when working out is always to burn calories and fat, and while that's good, it's not what makes the biggest difference. You see, science says the main goal of working out should be to optimize your body for burning fat when you're not on the treadmill or hitting a lift. Fat loss is truly done in the other 23 hours of the day, not in the workouts you do. When you're doing cardio, the body burns energy in the moment only. So when you stop, that effect ends. What this does over time when paired with a really aggressive diet is the body becoming more efficient, which sounds like a good thing, but the side effects are actually very bad. You'll find yourself burning less calories for the same workout, hunger increases, recovery becomes more difficult, and your stress levels rise. Since we obviously do not want any of this to happen, we need to see what science says we actually should be doing in order to burn fat in the hours we're not active. Science shows us that your muscles are the secret key to all of this. When you train resistance, you tell your body that muscles are necessary for survival. And when the muscles are protected, your metabolism stays high. Because your muscles aren't about strength or appearance, in reality, they're metabolically active tissue. If you're wondering what that is, it's basically just a special part of your body that requires more energy to keep going, even at rest. This means that when you train your muscles, you can burn fat by simply resting, because it requires more energy. But hold on a second, it's not that easy. Lifting alone won't build enough muscle in the correct way for this to occur the way we want it to. Therefore, we need to focus on the perfect recovery process so that this all works. It's not about the amount of calories burned or pounds lifted, it's about the recovery process that comes after. When you make really heavy and compound movements, it creates a longer increase in energy that the body needs to repair muscle tissue and restore balance. This after-workout energy keeps your metabolism high without any actual effort from your end, which means you'll burn more fat while resting. A very important thing to remember for this is getting daily movement. Walking, standing, and normal body movements are vital to burning fat and using non-workout energy. When you do training that stresses your muscles out, it makes you sore, which can sometimes stop people from recovery. But caring for that soreness and rolling out your muscles is the only way to be on the path to burning a lot of fat without working out. To make this process even better, you should be having well-structured strength training. So stop skipping legs every week if you actually want to burn fat. You see, long and exhausting workouts can do more harm than good because it keeps your stress hormones at too high of an elevation, which spikes your cortisol. It's a meme all over social media, but trust me, you do not want your cortisol to be high at all. At the end of the day, the body always responds to the signals it gets from you. When your training is built on strength, muscle, and movement, the body adapts by keeping your metabolism functioning fast and efficient. But when your training tells your body that it's always going to be under stress and at a risk of survival, it slows everything down. Now that we understand how to burn fat from working out and resting, we need to finally put it all together and come up with a plan to not only lose weight and fat, but keep it for good. This is where everything finally comes together, and everything I've discussed in the video can be summed up to create an actual plan to lose weight. So just watch this last couple minutes and you'll be good. Losing weight is one thing, but keeping it off is what everyone else always fails at. And the reason that happens isn't because people stop caring or trying. It's because they were using a system that was designed to make them fail. Whether it was counting every calorie, going on a crazy diet, or working out way too much without recovery, it all leads to the same issue. You see, when you rely on calorie counting and a ton of restriction, you're basically telling your body that food is really hard to come by. And when the body hears that signal for a long enough period of time, it adapts. Your metabolism slows down, your hunger levels increase, your stress hormones rise, and the body starts doing everything it can to regain the weight you just lost. That's not your fault at all. That's science and biology doing exactly what it's designed to do. This is why everything we talked about earlier matters so much. Stable blood sugar matters because when insulin is constantly spiking and crashing, hunger never stops. You're always fighting cravings, always thinking about food, always one bad day away from regaining all the weight. But when meals are built around protein, fiber, and real food, blood sugar stays stable, hunger calms down, and fat loss stops feeling like a constant battle. Your training matters because muscle is what protects your metabolism. When you lift and preserve muscle, your body has an actual reason to keep burning energy at rest. You're no longer losing weight by eating healthy, you're losing fat while keeping the engine running. That's a completely different outcome than just watching the scale go down because of what you put in. Recovery matters because fat loss doesn't happen when the body feels threatened. Poor sleep, constant stress, and non-stop training keep cortisol elevated, and when cortisol stays high, the body holds onto fat and slows everything else down. You cannot out-diet or out-train your body. Science says that when the nervous system detects a problem, it's going to respond in the way that it's actually meant to. You see, your environment matters more than any motivation. When your food choices are simple, your routines are consistent, and your workouts are structured, fat loss becomes super easy. You stop relying on discipline and start relying on an entire system built to benefit you at every hour of the day. That's exactly how people stay lean for years without tracking every calorie or going crazy over every meal. So if your goal is to not just lose weight, but actually keep it off for good, stop asking how many calories you burned today and start asking what signals you're sending your body for the next 23 hours. That right there is the difference between temporary fat loss and a lifestyle change for the better. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you never miss one of my videos. I mainly post science-backed lifting and health tip videos, so be on the lookout for a lot more of those in the future. YouTube really thinks you're gonna like one of the videos that's gonna pop up, so if you want, click on it. Otherwise, with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.